Hey friends, I'm in my mom's car, so it's going to be a little loud. I apologize, but I got a question for you. And I know I'm going to cuss, so excuse me ahead of time. But have you ever just gotten tired of your own shit? Like, I was thinking about this today. I was like, okay, I'm going to do our weekly drive-through, see if we can spot the gators. But what are we going to talk about today? And I had a memory of when I went and saw, I Can Only Imagine 2. So, hi, by the way, hi. If you're new to me, I am Shannon. My husband Ross and I started an intentional journey to go down and chase joy, making an active choice to choose joy, to chase it, chase the fun. Great book, by the way, by Ian F. Downs. And just reclaim like that childhood wonder, because really our lives were just crap. I don't know how else to say it. We had been through some really, really, really hard years, and our lives just we succumbed to the depression and everything else that was pulling at us, the apathy. And so we were like, well, in order for things to change, we need to change. We need to actively participate with God in this journey and focus on the joy. Choose joy. Choose getting up every day. Even if we're not totally excited and like, woo, at least get up. And so that's what we're doing. So what I like to do, and that's like finding things that you enjoy. Find at least one thing. We find at least one thing a day that we enjoy, and then we try to do what we call weekend shenanigans. And do you have that one day, someday, I'll get, when I get to it, I'll go visit this ice cream shop, or I'll go do this. We are starting to pull from our one day, someday list on the weekends and do some fun shenanigans. And so one of the things I like to do is once a week is come down and see if I can find gators. And well, I like to bring you with me. So do you see any? Do you see any? I do not see any. Nope. Okay, Lord, I pray we can see some gators. But anyways, so I was sitting at a doctor's office today, and that memory came up after I saw I Can Only Imagine 2. Y'all, I did not leave that theater inspired. I left that theater knowing that I was stuck. I was stuck in depression, grief, disappointment, shame. Like, I was stuck. And I basically, when I left, I was like, I am so tired of my own, I won't cuss again, but what I said in the beginning of this video, I was tired of my own, it's like you want to lose weight, but yet you're not working out, you're not counting your macros, you're not withstanding from certain foods that is going to flare up your body, and so it's like, I want to lose weight, but yet I'm not going to work out, I'm not going to count my macros, I'm not going to present my body as a living sacrifice unto the Lord, I'm not going to invite the Lord into this journey, and but yet why is the scale not budging? Well, guess what? Now I do the macros. I'm exercising. I'm being more intentional of my food choices. Is this pleasing unto the Lord? Do I always do it correctly? No. Do I still have some desserts? Yes, but they are a lot smaller portions, and they get tracked in my macros. Like anything that goes in my mouth goes on my macro tracker. So I can be a good steward of my body, and it is working. The pounds are starting to come off. Will it change overnight? Nope, it didn't get there overnight. So that was a big wake-up call. And, always just being depressed and, in shame and knowing why, but not talking to anybody, And so I got to where I had to confront some lies the enemy had told me in regards to my son passing away. And we won't even get into that. And can I say that I love when God starts to bring you out of stuff, you don't even want to talk about the old stuff. Like, you'll mention it and be like, okay, I'm good. I don't even want to go into that. So that's kind of where I'm at. So it's like, and we kept trying to rebuild a company that we started right before our son was killed. And every time I would stand up in a network meeting or something and talk about the company, I mean, it was a great company. But my mind would always flash back to, and it was about 2 to 3 months after we started. Our son was killed, and, this, that, and they were not connected. But in my mind, it was constant flashbacks. So we dissolved our company, and we are starting a new one. More details to come out in the fall. I'll say that. I don't want to give, this video is not about that. But then Ross and I, I started talking about, I need to do a year. I need to do a year where I'm focused on me and my vision that God gave me, my dreams, because I'm always like, I want to help everybody else. And, and I was like, I really need to be about my field. Because he spared me so many times in life, surviving cancer 3 times, car accident, and again, this is another, I don't even want to talk about all that. But, it was being, we have to steward the gifts that he has given us. And so I started talking about, I'm going to do a year of Shannon, and I'm going to start it on Mother's Day. And Ross is like, well, I want to do a year of Ross. And I'm like, why don't we just do the year of Turners? So we did, and we kicked it off on Mother's Day, and we had our friends send us out on a scavenger hunt, and it was so awesome. So this year, we're choosing joy. Do we always feel joy? No. But we acknowledge whatever emotion is coming up, we give it to the Lord, and we're like, we're going to choose joy. We're going to choose joy. Because, this is the day that he has made. We will rejoice and be glad in it. And, it's just, but had I had not seen, I can only imagine too, and watching how Bart got really just stuck in survival mode, and maybe that's as best as life was going to get, and all this other stuff. Had I have not seen that, had I had not gotten sick of my own poo-poo, we wouldn't be where we are now. And I'm so grateful to God that he allows us at times to kind of wallow in the poo, so we'll get sick of it and be like, man, I gotta change. And my son used to say, you'll have better when you want better, and that is so true. And so this is our year. We go strong. May, Mother's Day, 26 to 27. We are literally like things that we've always wanted to do and we haven't done. We're going to start doing those. We're going to start going camping. We're doing the parks a lot more. We're managing our money better. Just things, we're taking care of our health better, and, all for the glory of God. And it is so true. Like, in order for things to change, we have to change. God desires obedience and discipline from us. He's not going to willy-nilly just give us the desires of our heart. Because, the word says, of course, I say the word says and my mind goes bling. Delight yourself. Thank you, Lord. Delight yourself in the Lord, and he will give you the desires of your heart. And so we are just, we're grateful. Gratitude is such a powerful thing. Such a powerful thing. And God has never let us down. God will never let you down. And if you're finding yourself in a place where you're kind of sick of your own, SHIT, turn it to God. Give it to God. Be like, God, I want better. I don't know how to get better, but I want better. And I know in order for things to change, I have to change. I have to be an active participant. And God will lead you and God will guide you. I promise you that. He will never abandon you. But you have to kind of, sometimes in order for things to change, you got to rock bottom it. Because sometimes, we're so damn comfortable. And we don't want to change. We don't want to move. We don't want to, but there's life. And there's great possibilities and wonder out there. And man, I'm excited. I'm excited when I wake up in the morning. Well, at least I'm trying every morning when I wake up to get myself excited on the possibility of the day. Like, what does God have in store for me? You know, good stuff, because he's a good father, right? Who am I going to be able to pray with? Who am I going to be able to lead to him? Who, you know, and you know, how is he going to bless me? How am I going to honor him? Just possibilities, great possibilities for the day. All right, so that concludes our video. If there's any way I can pray for you, please let me know. Have a wonderful day, you all. We did not see gators. We will come back in a couple of days.